What's up, Kim folk? Outrage TV late night edition. I getting ready to have a special guest on the podcast here as soon as she puts her face on in the bathrooms there. Glad to have you with us on a wonderful Tuesday morning. Just clicked over into the morning of a Tuesday. January 22nd, 2019. It's fucking 2019, everybody. That means gender reassignment surgery and communism is the future. Yes, let all the third world migrants move into your country. And it's a human right to have access to white men's wallets. You might have heard the groans from the other room at that comment, and that's okay. Groans are welcome. Disagreements are welcome. I'm trying to get this dorky communist at the fourth wall to come and debate me on the podcast, and he's just so reluctant. His name is Michael Rogelio. Look him up on Facebook and please troll him to debate Nick Jordan, because he is frightened to the core, ladies and gentlemen, to the bone. He feels the terror of the inadequacy of his arguments.
When does trolling become harassment? Question mark.
When they, no, don't threaten him or anything. Just call him a pussy and tell him to debate Nick Jordan.
Be nice. Do not call him a vagina.
Call him a.
Oh my god.
Call him a. Let's bring back the word faggot, because faggots are real. As our guest knows, faggots are real.
Okay, as in the cigarettes.
It's basically her catchphrase.
It's not.
She's black.
No.
And she knows that faggots are real. Okay, she's not buying into the propaganda there that faggots aren't real and that they're just normal and that they're gonna take over Western civilization.
I said none of that. I said none of those things.
But she knows it deep in her heart. And we're not even talking about gay people. We're talking about faggots. Okay, they're real.
Oh my god. 1 second, I'm getting dressed.
She's getting dressed. How provocative, ladies and gentlemen.
That's just fact. What is wrong with you?
This podcast just took on a whole nother. Let's get some podcast intro music here.
You mean like the normalness of getting dressed? Yeah, so provocative.
Yeah.
Don't slip in, tell you this.
Yeah, we're gonna put on some music here for the podcast to get it kicked off here on a Tuesday.
The end of this week. The test will be comprised of 20% written, 30% oral, and 50% anal. Any questions?
Professor,
Yes, dear.
will there be any extra credit?
I am so glad you asked.
Late night outrage, baby. Ron Jeremy style. All right, that may or may not be copyrighted music. We don't want to get pulled off of YouTube. We do short little clips here.
That music. Just know that. Thank you.
What was that?
We have no rights to that music.
We do not own any of that music, nor any of the dicks or vaginas used to create it. We can only claim ownership over our own sex organs and And that's at least until we succumb to the communist propaganda and decide to get rid of them and go with the old Ken doll flesh wall there. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. We're all going to be a race of Ken doll flesh wall people who don't who have no we just walls are fine for your genitals, but not for the borders of your country. Then they're racist, unless of course you live in Israel or China, and then we go over there and take selfies like tourists.
How great are they doing? Not as great as we are, right? So kind of you're like as an example, you have to say, what's the state of their being? Are they as great as America?
I don't know. China makes a lot of our shit.
So with their walls, how great are they?
Well, they're not necessarily creative, but they are smart.
But I mean, I feel like China is very creative because they create a lot of things in this country for us, so they're pretty creative.
China, Matt Arsenault makes a great point. He says China made that vape. Now, I don't necessarily see the made in China, designed by Smok, S-M-O-K is the vape company, but
Look at that.
very possible that it, welcome our guest here, the lovely Heaven. She is converted to Islam, which you see her head.
Oh my God! Stop saying that. You're so wrong.
Her headdress too.
I'm just comfortable.
She does not drive a car, which is to abide by the rules of Islam.
Please stop. It's so ridiculous. No, it's because I'm scared to drive, guys. It's worse.
She dutifully wears her hijab.
So how are you guys doing? Oh, your face is literally in all of my way.
Well, I got to Google here. Let's see. Smok. Made in the first Google suggestion is China.
It says, but there's the third one says Smok made in U.S.
What country? Let's see.
Dun dun dun. And the deliberation goes to.
And our internet is
and
slow.
the lights go down. Oh, what are they gonna say?
Oh no, it's super creepy now.
Oh no, what is gonna say?
Where's my leave the light off and hand me my phone because I'm gonna oh wait, I'm recording on my phone.
Without your flashlight?
I'm gonna restart. Oh yes. The flashlight? Yes.
And the answer
it's
is...
time for creepy stories at Outrage TV. This is like entirely too bright.
For your whiteness?
If
yes.
I do.
That's worse. So the answer is...
Alright, turn the light on.
So,
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry for nothing. It just says that...
Smart products. Nashan district.
That doesn't sound American.
Shenzhen. What is Shenzhen?
Just click on the.
China. Oh, you nailed it.
China. Ooh.
You nailed it. Welcome to the stream, Matt Arsenault. You fucking nailed it. You nailed it on the first comment. See, China is designing all of our vapes. They basically own us.
They don't own me.
Hong Kong is they're in control.
They can own my vessel, but never my heart. So there's that.
There's that, ladies and gentlemen. We're not under the communist regime. We're still holding on to the vestiges of the free market here, and we got to get that free market capitalism going, baby.
Slavery is over.
Not in the sense of the government. The government owns, half of the money you'll ever make. Slavery is giving up 100% of the money you make. Government means giving up 30 to 40 to 50% of the money you make. And so
crazy.
Getting rid of the government is the new abolitionist movement. And it would be lovely if everybody could get along board. But, the problem is nobody has empathy for white people's wallets. And so it's a human right to have access to white people's wallets. So, you just get on welfare and we'll take care of you.
Okay, so let's move on.
What's up, Dirtweed?
Ew, what?
Dirtweed, one of the...
That's his name?
Why would you
name yourself Dirtweed? That's not even...
He's one of the loyal followers.
That's like the weed you smoke that's not real weed.
Matt Arsenault says, what do you think of the MAGA kid situation? Well, it's just a classic example of white people looking at Native American people and being assumed to be racist, and that's white privilege. It's white privilege when you're assumed to be racist in any given interaction with a person who's not white. So if you're white and you interact with somebody who's not white, you're probably racist in the interaction.
That doesn't make sense.
And that's multiculturalism. That's how it's supposed to work. You know, we have all these cultures interacting with each other, but then if white people interact, you're racist. And so that's what happened to the MAGA kids. They made the mistake of, shooting their racist gaze at this Native American gentleman, despite the fact that he approached them as they were waiting on their bus and beat his drum in their face. But that's not important. What's important is, the narrative that white people genocided Native Americans and handed them smallpox blankets. And so...
I think it was an accident, though. I don't think they did it on purpose.
Oh my God, have you been listening to that Nazi alt-right propaganda?
No,
that
I just don't think it... honestly, like, real talk, though.
white people are totes evil.
No, I mean, if you think about it, real talk, though. You come over here, like, they brought the slaves over here to do work. But, okay, cool. Sorry. But anyway, why would they come and bring them like, oh, we're gonna make you sick, oh, good luck. No, I don't think that was like, so I don't think it was a plan, it was an accident. And they were like, oh, shit, fuck.
He said, good point. He said dirtweed is his Islamic name.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is it really?
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
His country has been enslaved by the Arabs, and they've given him a name.
Wait, is it really?
It's called dirtweed. And,
that's me.
It's
what?
very sad. But, those are the two big pillars of the fake, evil white people narrative, is that we committed genocide on the Native Americans.
Oh, my gosh.
When, in actuality, it was just the spread of smallpox and, an equal clashing on both sides. And then we came over here and we're like, wait, you guys haven't even invented the wheel yet?
Some people, they probably already have the wheel.
They did not have the wheel.
You don't know that? Were you there?
I looked it up the other night.
Look it up. I don't believe you.
They
didn't have the wheel. They had teepees, bro. They didn't have the wheel.
They did not have the wheel.
Well, they were doing just fine without the wheel.
They
They were doing just fine without the wheel.
They did ride horses.
They were doing just fine without the wheels.
Not as fine as Europe.
But yeah, they were doing better before they came here and killed them.
Well, they weren't doing better than Europe.
It doesn't matter, bro. Like, it is what it is.
I'm just saying the technological disparity was so big when they came over here. It's like, bruh, just kind of stay out of our way. We're gonna build the greatest civilization the world's ever seen.
No, that's so rude. Someone coming into your house and be like, "Oh, by the way, let me just, I'm gonna take this over. Fuck this." That's hard. That would be so rude.
Well,
so you can understand how they can be upset. Like,
it would be more like
not.
Somebody has on an empty lot of land. Somebody has a teepee, and then you are like, I actually have plans. Maybe we could build a house here.
They didn't. From my understanding, did they even like make an agreement with them, or they just came like, bet doing this? That's rude. Yeah, that's rude. If someone did that to you now, how would you feel? Not happy. Any of you? Would you be happy?
There wasn't all of the land settled by the Native Americans.
It doesn't matter, but still, it does matter. Even if it's like this much land or all this land, if someone walks into your house nowadays, that's called, you have the right to shoot them until they're dead because they're on your property.
Right, but you're saying the Native Americans had a house, which they didn't.
No, I'm not saying house. That was their land. They were there first in case like, oh, my land is your land and your land is my land.
There's a thing that goes along with property rights where, like, you need to do something with the land in order to have it be yours.
Beside the point, I don't know all the facts, so I'm just saying what I feel. I don't really know about facts. I want to make that very clear. But that being said, none of us were there. True. So... let's go on.
I'm just saying it's not a straight up genocide.
I don't think it was on purpose. I don't think that the initial thing that happened was
wasn't like
they're already dying, might as well just I'm sorry, Native Americans.
I mean, if we came over here and the Native Americans had a society like similar to ours,
no,
or like,
I think they still would have been like, fuck this.
Or if they had some level of technological advancement.
They didn't care.
Then
they would have stolen it and then said it was theirs.
I feel like they would have worked with them.
No, they wouldn't have done that shit. Okay.
Because
since when have they ever worked with people?
Because it was Spain who came over here originally.
It doesn't matter.
So they didn't. They recognized the technological advancement of other European countries. Hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. They recognized the other advancement of technological advancements in Europe. So they didn't just go over to other European countries and be like, "We're taking your shit over." Because they were like, okay, game, recognized game. You guys got some cool shit going on here. But we came over to the Americas and it was like barren wasteland and a bunch of teepees and buffalo. And we're like, where's your buildings and shit? Have you figured out the wheel yet? And they were like, we're not sure if we're going to kill you or not. And we were like, oh my God, we're just trying to do our thing here.
Okay, regardless of that, I hear you.
And then they died from smallpox.
And I hear you on that part. And yes, okay, we weren't all there. With that being said, it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. Technology aside, it doesn't matter. You should watch The Founder, because what McDonald's, the guy who now is the CEO, well, he's passed away, I believe, of McDonald's, like straight up like took it, like he legally got hold of McDonald's, but that's a smaller version of what happened. You never seen the movie, but The Founder was like, when you see what he did, it's so cold but so legal and so, ooh, it's fucked up. But anyway, like, even technology aside, it doesn't matter if someone has something better than you. You still have the right to go on their where they are and be like, you don't have this. Let me try to convince you to do it my way, and then like just take over. Like that's cold. I don't
See,
care.
nobody really knows how it happened, but
Exactly.
there was fighting on both sides, and there was disease transfer, and then like, I just feel like if the Native Americans were willing to like have peaceful trade, I think that's what would have
Maybe
happened.
they were, and maybe it was the other side that was not willing to be peaceful.
Maybe.
We don't know because we weren't there. Either way, all they know is that it happened, and I'm sorry, now I have to learn from those mistakes and not do that again. And I feel like people are still doing the same thing.
I'm just saying it's wrong to say it was an intentional genocide.
And
which
it's
is what
wrong
people
to say that it's okay that they did that. And just if you want to go by how most people assume that they just like took no ravage, how is that okay? It's wrong either way. They're both wrong. It's not neither here nor there. They're both, in that case, was incorrect. What I feel happened was probably like, have you ever like had a friend that like...
Well, there's a level.
No.
There's
Wait,
a level
no,
of evil.
Okay, no,
like-
listen to this. Have you ever had a friend come over and be like, bro, well, I know how to do this better than you, and they kind of show them, and their friend's like, skeptical, but still lets them show them, and then it's like, because their friend is coming in with good intentions to try and help them out, but their friend's like, fuck, and then like they may be better at them, and they end up one-upping them, and leaving the one down in the dirt, and like, but bro, what about me? You got this from me. It could be like just a clashing of the settlers came over here trying to just be like, bro, we can help you, like we can build stuff, and we can make this a lot easier for you. And then the Indians were like, okay, bet. But then they took too much control. And then he's like, okay, we let you do this much, but then you took all this. We gave you an inch, you took all the shit. Like, that's what it sounds like more likely, because that's how humans act now. We give it a little bit to help out and to innovate, and then they end up taking over because the other person either gets too weak or the other one takes advantage of the other person. That's
They
what
can't hold their alcohol.
It doesn't matter. That's probably what happened. That makes more sense because that's how humans interact. Am I wrong? Please tell me. Does that not sound more like a more logical way of what actually happened? They came over with the intention of just seeing that what they had and being like, we can make this better. And then he's like, okay, bet. But then they took full-on control. Like, we can make this better. How would we just do it for you? And then it became kind of like, crap.
And there was also two waves of. First, it was Columbus from Spain.
Columbus is not a good man.
Columbus was an asshole.
He was a dick.
Columbus straight up like slaughtered people and
was-
like was trying to find gold. He was trying to find like the lost city of Z and shit.
He's probably down in hell with what's it called, Hitler.
Columbus was a dickhead. But then
He was a bag of dicks.
But then you have the super religious pilgrims who came across in the Mayflower and landed on the shore, and I feel like they kind of just, not saying I know for sure, but I feel like they kind of just set up their own societies and were like, let us do our thing, and we want to like exchange information with the Native Americans. And then there was also like just this hostility because like the Pilgrims had like all of this culture from Europe and all this technological understanding and how they were setting up their societies and shit. And then the natives had all their understanding of like agriculture and living off the land and hunting and shit. Mm-hmm. And there could have been a nice little like give and take there. And I feel like there was at least a little bit because there's the whole Thanksgiving story.
Yeah, they tried to make peace. Like have you ever watched Desperate Housewives? Sorry, probably none of you have. But the same shit happens. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna be all civil, and then there's always a cat fight because someone always wants to be alpha. There cannot be. There's too many chefs in the kitchen, but not enough cooks. Y'all fucked, and that's what happens.
And then Gordon Ramsay shows up and said, "You all fucking cunts."
But no, it happens with every single.
It's fucking raw.
It happens on a big scale and a small scale. So that's probably what happened. Is that like they really did try to get bet. We're gonna make peace. Like I got you this, you got me that. I got you a blanket. It has smallpox. I didn't realize that, but shit, fuck. And they had that dinner, and then all of a sudden people started getting sick. I don't know the facts. History's not my thing. But that sounds more like logical than like, oh, we just came like fuck up your shit. That doesn't sound like.
That's not white people.
That's not people. People don't just do that.
Well, the narrative is that
No,
white people
okay,
did this evil
you need
shit.
to get off the white soapbox right now. We're not talking about just white people right now. It has nothing to do with that right now.
Well, I'm just saying that's the narrative.
Oh my God, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Oh my gosh, wow. It's not all about race. It's not all about race right now. All we're talking about is people. I'm talking about people. This is how human beings interact. It's how we try to, overall we do tend to try to come in easily to try and like make peace. And then either someone feels inadequate or the other person feels
Where's the turkey sauce? Go ahead.
or someone feels, what? Or it's either someone feels inadequate when the other person comes to try and like make things better for them. And then they because they feel so like inadequate, they start lashing out, and then it starts like, why are you mad at me? Why are you mad at me? That's probably what happened. Am I wrong? No one's telling me. But either way, I feel like that's how it goes because that's how humans are now. We're very prideful human beings, and like, bro,
We're tribal.
Well, we are prideful. Prideful. As
We're
like,
also tribal.
No, I don't care. All I'm saying is that prideful as like we want to be right and we want to be the ones that we want to be. It's mine. No, like let's say that if your mom will move into your house or your mother-in-law. And slowly start like changing things out, like, oh, it'd be better if we don't need this. How about we get rid of this? And we'll put it in this couch instead. And slowly start taking over. And then you let it happen. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. And I'll say, like, listen, if you touch my lazy boy one more time, I'm gonna kill you. I'm sorry. I know you're my wife's mom, but real talk though, you can't do this. You've gone too far. That's how it happened. It's like little by little, and then you just take too much. And like we're losing ourselves and now we're dying, and we're losing ourselves, our culture. And we're dying.
And we're drinking beer, and this sucks.
And I'd be pissed. And I'd be pissed too.
We're drinking that white man fire water.
Listen, okay, this is not about white people.
We're talking about the time period where the original European colonists came over to North America.
You know how the number one way to make people stop bashing white people is stop talking about people bashing white people.
Well, there's differences in ethnicities.
I understand, but why we all see it. Why do we have to keep talking about it? We all see it. Why do we have to keep talking about it?
Well, because the narrative is that we're all the same. And
that's not. I don't care. I won't talk about it. It's not important. It's not relevant. It's not what's it called? It's not deep. It's not interesting. It's like, okay, yeah, and
yeah, that's my whole point. Why
are you talking about it?
Because I'm trying to disprove the bullshit narrative that people are pushing, that white people are these evil colonial oppressors that were like came over and genocided the Native Americans and when I say the word slavery, what do you think about?
Black people first, slaves.
Right, but who's the slave owner?
Not black people. Well, actually, no. Initially, I actually think about how Egypt.
What's the image?
No,
when I say the word slavery, what's the image in your head?
My very first image I have is Egypt and the Jews. That's all I have. This is my very first thought.
See,
actually.
you're too high IQ for this conversation.
It's not my. You asked me. Don't get mad at the answer to my question.
No, I'm just kidding. But typically when you say the word slavery, people think of white people owning black people. Now, that period in history is one portion of the entire history of slavery in world history. It just happens to be the most recent in this country.
Why do we care about other history when we have to talk about our history?
Because white people are blamed like they invented slavery.
I understand, but in that case, no. If you're talking about a genre of music that you're very you're writing something about a genre of music, you don't go talk about a different genre where it has nothing to do with your genre right now. When you're starting to talk about what happened within that genre, right? Why would you be like, oh man, slavery? We don't give a crap about that.
Because I'm talking about the Native American genocide and then the evils of slavery are the two things that are used to demonize white people.
Okay, and this it actually did happen, guys. He's not saying it didn't happen with the quotes, air quotes. I hope not. Because it did happen, and I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying the genocide.
But you don't do the quote because that thing is that didn't actually happen. That's not real.
Because genocide is different than transmuting a disease.
No. Genocide, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters the intent behind the genocide. If it still happened, it happened.
Genocide is intentional.
No, I don't believe so. I will. Let me go look it up.
Let's look at we got the Google right here.
I'm good.
Genocide is the intentional eradication of a racial group. Right. Genocide is defined by intent, Matt says. I agree with him. Because
you can agree with him. I don't.
Let's look up Google definition of genocide. Google probably has a cucked definition here. The deliberate killing of a large group of people, especially those of a particular ethnic group or nation. So deliberate. So the smallpox thing wouldn't be.
We also don't know if that was deliberate or not.
It wouldn't be under the category of deliberate.
How did you know?
Because there was no germ theory of disease.
Okay, well,
People didn't understand how disease was communicated. They thought it was like spirits and like.
Fine, you're right.
So that narrative is false.
But
The Native American. That's why I put it in quotes.
But it just seems so condescending, as if their pain doesn't matter.
I'm not saying it's any less that the Native Americans died out like that, and the aftermath has been terrible. And I've had really good friends that are Native American people, and it's like they've had really fucking rough lives
Can you
because
sit over, please?
because their families are like destroyed and shit, and they
More than? Are you kidding me?
well, I'm almost out of frame here, and they get they get fucked up by alcohol, and they're really susceptible to that.
They're not weak people. Calm down. You gotta try and make them into victims. It's fine.
Well,
I feel victims, bro.
the narrative is that they're victims, and it's
I feel
sad.
like that's the main problem, is that everyone that these things happen to, mind you, I wasn't in that time. That didn't happen to me, thank God, and I'm grateful for all of the lives that were taken and were sacrificed for me to be here. Mind you, please I will know that. Now being said, in this generation, as who I am, we need to take more authority of like the power that we have. You're literally in front of all of my face with your glass.
Well, you gotta scoot up.
I would love to. I don't want to be that close to you right now. But yeah, so it would be sorry guys. I known him for way too long. Sorry. But no, there has to be. Oh, you're touching me. Gross. Stop. There has to be a point of when we have to like not be like such victims and be more like, okay, well, this didn't actually happen to us directly as a black female in America. Color me stupid, I don't care. But I'm not a victim. And first of all, it didn't actually happen to me. Their lives were given for me to be here. And mind you, I'm grateful to be here. I don't want to be in any other country at this point in my life. Even though my husband, I believe, is not here. But anyway, right now, I'm very grateful that that it happened the way it had, because I don't want to be in Africa somewhere. Maybe I'll be fine with it, but I don't know, and I don't care. With that being said, I'm grateful. I'm not going to keep dwelling on stuff that didn't actually happen to me. How hard was it to belittle the lives that were actually taken? I wasn't even there. Like, I'm just still talking. It's like talking about gossip that didn't even happen to you, but happened to your best friend. And you still talking about it 3 years later, and you've been out of high school. Like, what do you do now? It doesn't matter. What did Tiffany did?
That's the only reason I'm bringing it up is because these are the historical misunderstandings that people have that lead to
Truth.
The ideology that you see today.
Facts.
And so
the misunderstandings.
Matt makes a point here. He says,
I love how all their comments are coming all over my face.
he says you're kind of right and wrong here, though. If you're talking about the first 200, they can't see the comments when I pull them up. We can see them.
I know you can't.
The first 200 years of European presence, then you're right. But there was a deliberate action taken to destroy them as an ethnic, cultural group in the 19th century, in Canada at least.
Where's your
I don't know much about Canadian history.
What is your what's it called? Your works cited? Yes, your works cited.
Sources.
I'm not in college anymore. I have 2 degrees, but anyway. But yeah, no.
So is it ethnic cleansing there by the Canadians? I thought Canadians were nice. What's the deal, dude?
Listen,
goddamn
stop.
maple syrup.
I like Canadians. They're really, really nice people.
Those maple syrup
You're just jealous
guzzling.
because you're a butthole that you don't know. If you were
Guzzling maple syrup,
he's
dude.
the exact opposite of a Canadian.
Diversity syrup. That's what you're guzzling. That's what you need to guzzle.
Stop, please.
So there's that narrative that we quote unquote genocided the Native Americans.
Is this what we're talking about this entire time?
We can change the subject, but I just wanted to say, and then there's slavery, which white people are forever blamed for, but white European Protestant Christians ended slavery for the first time in world history. And also, it wouldn't have been possible unless a bunch of black people in Africa helped round up the people that were sold into the Atlantic slave trade.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm listening to you. Atlantic slavery, go on.
Oh my God.
Because I'm bored of this conversation.
What's up, Proxnoid?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, baby? We're just talking about the quote unquote Native American genocide and
But,
quote unquote white people are evil because slavery.
No, okay,
hashtag.
but hey, hashtag, how about this? I have this new application where you can take a bunch of psych tests for free to see what mental disorders you have, and I honestly feel like this would be so interesting to do. If anyone agrees, say yes. So, taking free psychological tests.
Scoot up so people can see.
I wish I don't want to get close to you. You're so close to me. It's really, really cool. Like, and I think that Nick should take one. I think he's a narcissist. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm telling you. I think in these questions.
You're talking about pseudoscience.
No, excuse me. I have a degree in psychology. Fuck off. How dare you? Is that
You're talking about priming people for
how dare you with
pharmaceutical drugs there?
No, I'm not saying any on drugs. You're saying that. Don't put words in my mouth.
Just smoke weed every day.
That's not what is happening. Oh gosh.
You'll be fine.
I should not be on here. I'm too emotionally charged all the time. I'm sorry.
It's good because
he's numb inside. He's kind of dead inside, and I'm the complete opposite.
It's good because I'm a rational logic
I have
drone.
so many feelings. Thank you, Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here.
I'm a rational logic drone, and you're an emotional geyser.
You're not all logic. Let's not go there. But we're a logic 90% of the time. This one.
Yeah.
I'm logical. Excuse me.
So we were talking about how people get into arguments and how like the difference between an argument and being open to new information, and it's the left wing doesn't want to have any debate with anybody. They just want to have conclusions.
Why did you take my charger?
And emotionally shame people because it works.
I know it does because it's my charger.
Oh yeah.
I love how his things don't work and mine do. Mind you, headphones. He broke 2 pairs. Try to take mine. No thank you. Chargers. His is broken. Mine's not. And it was charging my phone.
My things just
What
break.
did he do? What did he do? He just took my phone off. It's at what, 5% battery? And to charge his vape.
Well, there's another slot there. You could plug in that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at my things. Go ahead. I'm sorry. See, this is why.
No. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to critique me some more? I'm so sorry. I can't. I'm so sorry. Nope. Wait, you're fine. What? But yeah, let's keep talking about your stuff. Go ahead.
So,
this doesn't work. This charger is bullshit. This is trash.
It doesn't work at all?
It doesn't work at all.
Well, now it's under the stove.
I don't care where it is. It needs to be under the bridge. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't work. How does none of your stuff ever work?
It's brand new. How did it not work?
I don't know. You should take it back where you found it.
Dirtweed asks, so does everyone on unemployment in Canada have psych degrees? Why are we talking about Canada?
Why are we talking about what? Unemployment. What are you talking about?
I took a psychology class. They taught me nothing.
You took a class? Because he doesn't...
Oh, you want
I
some...
have a degree in it, so kill yourself.
I got a request for some dragon energy into the camera here.
What is that? Oh my gosh. Ew, that's so dirty. This doesn't even work, Nick. I don't want your stupid chargers. None of your chargers work. None of your...
Oh, baby!
None of your chargers work. Absolutely 0 of them.
Hold on.
No. This is... I need to charge my phone.
Why do you need your phone on the podcast?
Because I'm bored.
Oh my god.
Why? Go ahead, take my charger. Give it back when you're done, please.
We're here to entertain the
I'm not
outrageous.
entertained. I'm bored. Keep talking.
How dare you? Yes, they're saying that you should let me charge the vape.
Really, guys? My mode of communication? Wow, y'all are cold. That was so mean. Charge your vape because he's a dragon, right?
See, here's what happens. You know, we have disagreements, and then I say, "Give me an argument," and give me some empiricism, give me some data here, and give me some logic, some reason, some evidence. And then she taps out and says, "I just can't do this anymore, and I'm done." And she doesn't recognize that this is what I live for. Is to have the arguments.
You're sick because you're sick. I told you.
I'm sick in the head, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't been diagnosed by a psych test, but I do get off on triggering liberals, eviscerating communists, going on their own platforms and making them look like the fools that they are. And it's wonderful, and it's gratifying, and it makes my soul happy. Everybody.
He doesn't have a soul, so it doesn't count. Ha.
That's not true.
That's not true. I eat souls for breakfast. I have souls in my tummy. What?
There's evil in the world, everybody, and it's coming to get you. And we here at Outrage TV are here to point out the evil and speak out against it.
I'm here to be a part of the love. See, another charger that's mine works, so I can charge my phone without your dumb charger.
I got a soul of anarchist gold.
I have 2 chargers that work, and you have 0.
There's capitalism for you.
That's not capitalism.
Thank goodness for the 21st century.
I'm prepared for it, and you're not.
Matt says, during childbirth, a woman can almost experience the pain a conservative man feels while watching a Gillette commercial.
Almost? I dare you to give that away.
Oh, dude. That is tremendous. Oh. Because, as we know, we need us white men.
And by the way,
white men, we need black men to chastise us for when we try to talk to women in public, because they know best. Okay, and white men, despite the Me Too,
it's not about race.
Despite the Me Too movement being about Bill Cosby, a black man, and Weinstein, a Jewish man, white men are to blame for the Me Too movement, and we will be taking all of the repercussions.
Why is that?
We will be paying all the taxes and taking all the blame, and go ahead and import all those third world migrants, because who needs a country?
And by the way, government, he said that, so take it all from him. Just him. He's a representative.
I just want to take my pegging from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Ew, that's really gross.
Because that's the destiny that society has set up for me.
Yeah, when you have a small penis, it kind of sucks.
How dare you spread rumors about me on the internet?
They're not rumors.
We had a penis picture controversy this morning.
Okay.
We might as well just get into it.
No, why?
It's just hilarious.
You can start it. I'm a lady.
It's just hilarious. So we allegedly engaged in intercourse this morning. According to anonymous sources there.
Someone said what?
And I was, I still had my unit out laying on the bed, and I was looking at my phone, and I had the sound on, and I clicked the sleep button, and it went and she walked in, and she was like, "Oh my God, you're so disgusting." And I was like, "What?
Okay,
what are you talking about?
Me.
What are you talking about?" And then she wouldn't tell me what she was talking about. And then midway through the day, I get a text that says, "I can't believe you would take a picture of your penis just after we were intimate, and you're probably sending it to other girls." And I was like,
okay, I want to be clear.
I did not take a dick pic.
Pause. Okay, my side. I hear you. Are you done with your side?
Go ahead.
Okay. With this being said, I want you to understand. Okay, let me paint the picture for you. He's laying in bed. I'm in the bathroom. I'm done. I'm happy. Yes, orgasm's great. I'm done. Coming out the bathroom. He's quickly moving his phone. I hear that sound, and his penis is out, and I'm like, what the hell? Why is he? Why would you? We just had sex. Why would you be taking a picture of your penis? For not me. I hate dick pics. You know this. And he makes fun of guys who take dick pics, and I literally threw up in the bathroom. I lost it, and I couldn't even tell. He was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like,
"No, don't overreact, because she does throw up every single day."
Okay, but not the first thing in the day usually, and he's the one that caused this. Okay, I did, but still.
She either throws up, cries, or passes out every single day.
It's actually kind of true. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me. I might be dying, but I mean, honestly, I was offended. I was like, why would you do that? That's so nasty. And I was distraught for most of the day, and I was like, we can't do this. I'm sorry. That's just so gross. And also, you're a hypocrite if you're doing that. You say you don't like us to do that. And then he tells me, he's like, no, and he actually explains it, and I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. That he was just putting his phone away when I came away, and the volume was up, and and it is not true. It sounds logical to me, because I'm like, the alternative, which my crazy mind thought he was doing that, is not him. That's why I was pissed. I was like, that's not you. And it was a huge thing, and I was literally like, oh my God, I have to get a roommate. He's fucking crazy. He's a hypocrite. This is so gross. Why would you even take a picture of your penis? I was just, But it wasn't even facts. It was just me being emotional and not communicating. If I had communicated this to him this morning, then we would have had this issue all day. I wouldn't have had it in my mind, at least by myself. So communication is key, guys.
And never take a dick pic.
It's gross. Like, okay, here's
no girls like that.
No, let me ask you a question. Okay, I know guys get off look at pictures and all this shit, but every girl probably hasn't thought about this, but has subconsciously. When you get a dick pic, what do I do? Is there an app I download do I put this inside my vagina? Does it tell me secrets? I can't do anything with this. I literally can is there a code?
Because men are excited by visual things.
And we're not men.
I know, which is the fundamental misunderstanding of like, this is going to get her excited.
That just means that guys don't understand women overall. The guys that do that mean they do not understand women because they don't, we can do nothing with this. Do I win the lottery with this? Do I show my mom? Do I show my dad? Should I put this on my wall? Background? Facebook?
Frame it.
Facebook, like Instagram. Do you want to post it to all your friends? Show your grandma? I don't know. I can't do... All the guys that think dick pics are cool, there's no instruction manual that comes with it. So unless you have one that's accurate and valid, don't do it.
If you take dick pics, you probably believe in the Native American genocide.
And if you ask for... Okay, the deaths did happen. Was it genocide by definition? Probably not. Make that clear. And mind you, we're not hating on Native Americans. I'm not, at least. And I don't think he is either. But with that being said, any guy that has dick pics, don't ask girls to take pictures with their vaginas. First of all, awkward. Have you ever tried? It's not possible.
One of my best friends growing up was a Native American gentleman
Where is he now?
In Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Where is he now?
He's in jail. I'm getting to that. I was actually, it was a tragic situation. I happened to be sexually assaulted by this gentleman at basketball camp. Outside the sleeping bag, however. Just joking. It was a joke.
Why do you gotta pay?
But it was a sign of things to come. His nickname was the Diesel on the basketball team there because he played power forward / center, and he would get in there and he would diesel people. And he would also use his name as a verb to threaten people and say that they're going to be dieseled. All right, so there's somebody getting dieseled tonight. And we didn't know what that meant, but we were all sleeping in the same room with sleeping bags. And then when the lights went out and everybody was trying to go to sleep, he would creep over next to the wall and hit it like, and he'd say, "Diesel coming for you." And we'd be like, "What?" And then somebody would randomly, like a horror movie, somebody would get picked off on the bunch. Like he would jump on you and just hump the shit out of you on the outside of your sleeping bag. And he was a large man and very troubling, but hilarious when it's not happening to you. Did happen to me once, and I didn't think it was quite as funny.
He cried for 5 days.
But then, I Googled the man after, I knew him back in high school and whatever. And I Googled him a couple years ago and found a court listing that showed him getting convicted for rape there. He apparently went to a bonfire party and crept upstairs to the woman who was throwing the bonfire party, who had gone to sleep, and slid into bed with her. And she was one of the witnesses in court, and she testified, quote, that he said in her ear, he whispered, "I'm going to eat that pussy like cold pizza." And that's his sense of humor. That's the Diesel. If you know the Diesel, that's what happens.
And he doesn't know that cold pizza, you use all the teeth. Because it's cold and it's hard, you don't eat pussy like that. You don't do that. It's not right. That makes no sense, though. You eat like pudding. Like, you like just...
Yeah, you gotta chew cold pizza pretty hard.
Yeah.
That takes some teeth action.
You use
Nobody likes that.
Any vagina, you're sick.
Nobody likes teeth in oral sex. That's
no,
not...
it's oral sex. It's
keep your teeth out of the situation. There's no teeth welcome in sodomy. Okay, take your dentures out before you engage in sodomy, ladies and gentlemen.
And if you guys want tips on how to suck popsicles, I will gladly help you. I'm really good. Maybe. Wait.
Don't be ridiculous.
I'm done. Don't be ridiculous. It's called the Outrage TV, bro. I can do that.
It is Outrage TV.
But if any of your family members watching, I'm so sorry to be mad. I don't know.
It is Outrage TV. We're certainly
I'm
outraged.
black. I can do whatever I want. What do you guys want to talk about?
Let's look at some news headlines.
Oh my gosh, news is so depressing. Why don't we talk about something fun, like if you're a psychopath?
Oh, here's a psychopath, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She says the world is ending in 12 years because of climate change.
Okay, I want you to understand. She looks so crazy. She's like, oh, ma. Okay, but I want you to understand, I work like 80, 90 hours a week for almost nothing. So I don't watch the news.
What's up, Abhishek?
So I don't know much of what he's going to tell you right now. So go ahead.
No, what were you saying?
I was saying that I work a lot, therefore I don't watch the news, therefore I don't know what's happening. So my perspective is fresh, new. It's like, oh my God, new baby born. I don't know what's happening, so I don't know what's happening in the news. So go.
All right, Proxnoid. I'll catch y'all later.
Sweet dreams.
Yeah, the climate change. We could talk about climate change if you want. We could talk about the set I had. I wish I could play it, but the set is currently on my phone, which we are now streaming on.
This is why schedules work better.
And so, what I talked about, wishing I had a psycho sports dad growing up because I wanted to play in the NBA when I was younger.
You still doing bad.
And that was before I knew about fast twitch muscles. And before I knew the doctor that told me I was going to be 6'6" was a liar. But that's beside the point. I could have worked harder to get it done because
6'6"?
JJ Redick is in the NBA. And so, white people just have to work harder, and I wasn't willing to put the work in. And it's true when it comes to basketball.
Things that actually matter, basketball doesn't matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Let's see, apocalypse happens. Do I want someone who's a war veteran, or do I want a basketball player? War veteran every time.
I mean, ultimately it doesn't matter that much, but it is inspiring. And it does make you a lot of money. Well, yeah, you're not a dude.
Yeah, I'm a woman. You're right. I'm better.
How dare you?
How dare you, Whitey?
So, I didn't work hard enough. I was lazy and entitled at the same time. Those two always go together, ladies and gentlemen. And so I was a junior in high school and still on JV. And barely hanging on to my starting spot there. And then this one game I had a terrible first quarter, and I expected to go in and redeem myself in the second quarter, but my coach did not put me back in. And so we were going into halftime, and I was fucking pissed off. And so I was like punching lockers and shit. And my coach came in to the locker room, and it was the only time I've ever cursed at a coach. I looked at him, I was like, why the fuck didn't you put me back in the game? And he just looked down at his clipboard. He was like, well, let's see here. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. I was like,
trifecta of loser.
Well, I'd better just be the team clown from here on out. And then I talked about how the idea that we're all equal is wrong, and we're individuals, and people who think we're all equal probably haven't ever played sports and kept score. Because
Accurately.
my high school basketball team, except me, was the hardest working team in the nation. Our coach was a complete dickhead and made us run suicides all the time. And so, when we went to one of those urban areas, we knew that deep down, none of that hard work bullshit was going to matter.
Fucked.
So, we could try to gas ourselves up and be like, oh, we've been running all our plays, we've been listening to our coach and shit. And then we'd show up and the other team wouldn't even have a coach. All right? They'd be shooting dice on the sideline and rolling blunts. And we'd be like, what the fuck? Are they ready for the game? And then this game would start and we'd find out.
That's not accurate. Were they really doing those things, or are you saying because black people do those things? Like,
they definitely were less well coached than us, and it didn't matter.
oh yeah, they were still better than you.
It didn't matter. And we'd get dunked on, and our own teammates would be filming the shit on our sideline. And, it was like the N1 mixtape tour. You're getting crossed up and people are saying, oh, baby.
Did you ever think that maybe they were just relaxed at the time of the game because they'd already put in all the hard work time beforehand? It wasn't like they didn't have to try hard. They just, like, worked hard beforehand. Like, they just stay ready so they don't have to get ready. And you guys always have to get ready because you don't stay ready.
Well, we couldn't dunk.
Because you suck. As a whole team, you all suck? You didn't have one all-star? That's sad. Not even one white all-star? That's sad.
We had one.
Y'all
We had one really good player.
Wasn't you, though. I'm sorry.
No.
I can be really mean. I'm sorry. It's not mean if it's true, isn't it?
So I did that set, and then I talked about my racist grandpa and my attraction to black women. They're in.
Oh my gosh, it's actually funny, but here's the thing: when you go against your grandfather, when you're like, my grandpa was racist, so I date black girls. It's kind of like I date black girls because they're the second choice. That's how I take it.
I date black girls because I'm attracted to them and because grandpa was so wrong.
And he, for whatever, but how does he treat the black girls is my question. You want to get it. He's mad at his facts, because it's facts. See, this is how it happens, slapping me. See these bruises? No, you don't, I'm black. You can't see bruises. Okay, no, you can't sometimes.
Luckily for me, she's read 50 Shades of Grey and she enjoyed it, and so she enjoys my abuse.
I want you guys to know, all the ladies especially, I'm like, yeah,
she doesn't think I slap her hard enough.
He's like, slap me. He's like, I'm my wrist, my baby wrist, choke me. I can't.
It's because I'm a nice white man.
No, you're not. No, you're just weak. And he's actually physically very strong. He's like,
yes,
I
go to the
I'm
gym.
not losing control of myself. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, just do it. I'm an adult.
I don't want to hurt people.
I'm older than he is.
I abide by the non-aggression principle.
I'm still older than you, and you can't even like. Just
Non-aggression principle. Self-defense is viable, but she hasn't attacked me thus far.
Because I don't attack people. I'm an asshole. I'm not you.
I don't attack people.
Emotionally. But
You're doing the same thing the left-wingers do when they conflate words with actions.
And you're the one that's reacting to it because you're dumb and you're weak.
No, I just point out how dumb it is.
It's not dumb to me because it's still my opinion. My opinion matters more than your facts. That's what they do. So,
that's called subjectivity.
And if you want me to act like them, trust me, I can. I can just throw my pee at you. I can just...
Throw your pee?
I can just act crazy and tell you you're the crazy one.
She's gonna...
I'm gonna pee in your mouth.
This is Outrage TV, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Anyone that knows me outside of this, pretend like you don't know me.
No, like it if you like it, share it out. I mean, we're still going strong here. 50 minutes in, we could go, another 30 minutes.
I don't know if we can, you can, but we can do something. I'm pretty tipsy right now. I eat like maybe once a day, and that's maybe. And I forget to eat often, guys. So me drinking this little thing is like, and I ate some Rice Krispie treat that's super great.
Oh yeah, she did eat a little.
No, like a piece of it.
Little THC.
And honestly, if you guys want to have some good edibles, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I got the hookup. Let me know. Like he can give you my information of that shit. It doesn't taste like anything in it. It's.
I'm scared of the weed, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not scared. He's the one that it was telling me when I first met him that weed's good for you. So that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Bullshit.
I'm not saying it's bad for you. I'm just saying it doesn't work quite well with my brain.
He's the most responsible addict that I've ever met. He doesn't get addicted to anything because if it doesn't suit him, he doesn't use it. And suit him for his actual goal, which I respect that because honestly, I was addicted to drugs for 3 years. Methamphetamine, no lie. I'm not gonna lie to you. Truth, facts. He is so disciplined that he's able to, if it doesn't suit his ultimate goal, which is to be successful in his field of choice, which is comedy and entertainment, to reveal the truth to the world in a positive way. Ultimately, if it doesn't suit that end goal, he's like, nah, I'm good. And that I respect because me, I'm like, if it feels good, I'm doing it. If it hurts other people, I'm definitely not doing it. But it feels good to me and doesn't hurt other people, I'm doing it.
Well, that's why I feel like I've had a positive influence on you to have a little discipline with your indulgences. Have vodka and donuts, every now and then, but not every day.
I don't have them every day. Only maybe every Sunday. Lately,
That's her favorite meal, by the way, vodka and donuts.
It's really good. It's my Sunday meal. I feel like Jesus would be eating with me if he was here.
But that's what I was getting ready to talk about. The positivity in comedy. She always says I'm so negative.
Well, if comedy's making
And
people laugh, and that's the ultimate comedy, is the ultimate positivity, isn't it?
And I shouldn't harp on the negative. But, you know, a lot of comedy comes out of pain. Like, look at Richard Pryor. Look at George Carlin. They're talking about negative things, but they're pointing out the negative things in order to highlight the positive things. So you show the difference.
Y'all need to see this bitch's face, though. I'm so sorry. I can't even. Can you lift this computer up? They need to see this.
Okay, so Cortez.
This bitch's, her face is bothering me.
It's important that we get the visual for the
my
podcast.
Phone up off the ground. No. Put it back. Put it back. No, put it back, please. Can you show them again?
They saw it.
Her face is like, you dropped my phone. Can you pick up my phone, please, honey? Please, sweetheart. No, don't. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Please kick me with his foot. This is why we are not. If I were to ever marry someone that's like this, he would be dead within a year. Dead within a year.
I think I'm gonna marry Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because I'm just power hungry.
You're disgusting.
I want to be the.
This girl is so blatantly.
I want to be the communist chancellor of the world.
You need to have sex with this girl.
I want to be the first man.
You want to be
of
this
the country.
girl.
When Ocasio-Cortez runs for president, I'm going to be her first man.
I'm so annoyed. I'm just so annoyed. She's so blatantly. I can't show her because she's my friend. But this girl is so blatantly all about her. I'm just like, every time I see it, I'm just like, and I'm just irritated because all she shows is her ass, nothing else.
She got a great ass. What's the problem?
That's all she ever.
It's Instagram.
I knew you'd like it because
it's Instagram. That's what you do on Instagram, right?
No,
you show your ass.
I don't. I'm an actual model that's made thousands, $100,000 of this. My ass is not why I made money. So fuck off. No.
Well, what's the difference?
That I made actual money and off of not my ass, which is the biggest part of my body.
Well.
Yeah, nothing. But because she has a big ass, that's why he likes her. That nothing else.
There's nothing wrong with it.
You're disgusting.
Who doesn't like a big ass?
I knew you would like that. This is all her shit. It's just this. That's all it is. I'm good. Like it's so. I think
you sound like a hater.
I'm not a hater because this is all she has. I'm just like disgusted.
She doesn't look ugly.
I'm not saying she looks ugly. I'm just like that's all you have.
Well, that's the moneymaker.
You're disgusting.
How? That's what dudes like to look at on Instagram. Oh, she's checked out, ladies and gentlemen. When I said the ass is the moneymaker. Are you done with the podcast? She's making pasta, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, see, this is what happens in every discussion we have. I just back her into a logical corner, and then she gets upset.
It's not logical. It's that you're so jaded and so into the same thing everyone else is that I realize you're so basic, and I forget that for a moment. And then you say
no, guys like ass. That's why you put it on Instagram.
I'm not looking for guys. I'm looking for someone who's actually interesting.
Are you saying guys aren't interesting? You can't be interesting.
Guys like you, no.
You can't be interesting and like looking at asses.
But if you really think you're right. I don't care.
It's not either or.
It is to me, and I don't care anymore.
Well, it's all moot point, ladies and gentlemen, because the world is going to end in 12 years, according to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Climate change is going to render us all
Sexist.
Amphibians. We're all going to be underwater.
I'm not going to be. I'm heaven. I'm above all of you. Ha! Ha!
Yeah, you were asking me why I'm so negative, and then you went negative on those Instagram pages.
Because I was like,
where's your positivity? She's got, how many followers does she have? You should be celebrating her ass.
No, I will not do that. She's my friend because we worked on the same movie together.
Don't be a hater. She's got a nice ass.
Damn, she does. You're completely right.
Oh.
You should follow her.
Oh no.
And maybe I'm a little bit. I just don't feel comfortable showing myself like that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm uncomfortable.
Well, that's fine. You got brains.
That's my insecurity. Even though I have a nice ass, I'm insecure of showing it. Maybe that's what it is. And she actually does have a great ass. Maybe that's what it is. That's on me. I can control what she does. I can just control how I feel. Why?
No, I get mad at Kylie Jenner because she's a billionaire and all she's done is like
she's really cute. She's
get
very,
ass implants and look hot.
She's very talented, and I have to say she's very talented. I'm just maybe I'm jealous. Either way, it's on me.
It's just not for you.
It isn't for me.
It's for thirsty ass motherfuckers on Instagram.
And she is thirsty. Maybe she's probably.
No, I'm saying the people that are looking at the pictures are thirsty.
And she is, and she has a lot of followers. I just don't. She's very beautiful.
Let's all stay positive, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to be positive while we're all swirling down into the climate change apocalypse, and we want to end in a positive, a positively destructive whirl of climate change there, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez knows that. And we're all thankful for her insights on science. And there's no data required. You don't need any data for climate change. You just need to claim that it's happening, and say, you're a science denier. If you say that, and that's all that you need. And you deny the science of race and IQ, which is why you want to import third world immigrants with an average IQ of 80 and expect them to do well in a modern technological society in America. That's not science denial. That's just not being racist. And yeah, I was.
So many of my friends are married, have babies. I'm sorry.
Do you want to be married and have babies?
Yeah, I should be by now. I'm almost 30. Damn it.
You are 28, huh?
Shut the. Like so many of my friends from high school are married with babies. I was pregnant with my second baby married.
Well.
Look at this. Look at this ring. Look at this.
You want a ring? Are you really?
I want a partner. I don't want a ring. I want a partner.
Why are you looking at the ring?
Because she found a partner. She's been dating this guy since high school. I graduated 10 years ago? And she's been dating him since then, and they got married 2 years ago. And he bought her this ring. He's been saving up for this ring. That's what I want. Someone that saves up for this.
Well.
That's a huge ring, guys. It's giant.
Yeah. That's the ultimate goal there. You want to procreate. That's what we're here on the planet to do.
You want to find someone that is willing to deal with your bullshit long enough and live with you and be able to grow with you and also save up the money for rings that are so big.
For me, I need to make a bunch of money first. And, because I need to have some... When I inevitably get divorced and she takes half, I need to be able to be comfortable with living with half of what I have.
You should never pull a Kardashian and you have to get divorced, bro. Even though Kim Kardashian winning, girl, yes. She made her sex tape into a brand. I mean, billions of dollars. I praise you. Yes, good job. With that being said,
see, you celebrate that, but the ass pics on Instagram.
I celebrate her business mindset. I celebrate that taking a sex tape, making into her making residual pay, and so on and so forth, and marrying Kanye West. Girl, she's gonna make money for the rest of her life. I celebrate that, not the worst anything else. I celebrate her business mindset and to turn something so negative into something so positive to make money for her and her children for the rest of her life. I celebrate that. So you're confused.
Well, that all came from the sex tape.
No, it came from her father actually, who was O.J. Simpson's lawyer. Actually, it came from him. If we're gonna be serious, she's nothing without her father. So let's be serious, and her mother helping her. So no, it didn't come from a sex tape. She's not a random girl. Because Paris Hilton has a sex tape. Where is she? I don't know. God bless you. I'm sure
Yeah,
she
but
did
lots
well.
of people had famous parents.
No, but even still, but she also had a. You're right. Again, that goes back to Kim Kardashian listening to her parent, the one that's alive, because her father, rest in peace, is gone. And her mother is the reason why she is doing so well. And she listened to her, and she was able to have the mindset to do so. And all her siblings. It's not about the what happened. It's what happened afterwards that they choose to make it into money, and that we pay and we pay into that every single day.
I'm saying it's not that complicated to
It's not about sex.
to market it once you get all the
not
eyeballs.
No, it's not the marketing, bro. It's about them marketing and fucking taking that shit and work and executing and going off that immediately and not waiting and hesitating. They went and they had the foresight and the whatever they took, the roads that they keep taking to make and keep making money. That's what I'm looking at. You don't get it
No,
twisted.
I see what you're saying,
But
also
don't make it trivial saying that I'm praising that. If this girl was making as much money as Kim Kardashian, then yeah, I
well,
would
you
praise
need
her.
the initial eyeballs though.
Yes, but you also need the follow through. Eyeballs don't make you give you money.
Yeah, you need
it's
both.
the follow through. No, you definitely need the second part more than anything. You need the where to start. Yes, you need the exposure, but you need the prolonged business planning to continue forth. All they're doing is a business. All they're doing is a business over and over and over again. And
So what you're saying is we need to make a sex tape.
That's not what I'm saying. You're so stupid.
These are jokes, ladies and gentlemen. Jokes.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Stay positive, everybody.
You're retarded. Okay, are we gonna go?
Huh?
You're gonna keep talking?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Faggots are real.
Faggots are real, everybody. We need to have a faggot awareness program out there.
I think my tongue is abnormally long. Like llamas would be jealous.
Well, that's super creepy. Are you some kind of
Venom?
horror movie creature? What's happening here? I'm definitely being ear fucked by Venom, and now I have bunny ears, and
only the two on the same side of your head. That's a problem.
this is supposed to be a logical, political podcast here.
I don't.
We need to break down the Federal Reserve and how we need to empower small business. All right, we need to empower small business to set the free market economy of America free.
What? You're just blood.
We need to unleash the ingenuity of the American public.
Did you say? Do you know ingenuity? Can you spell ingenuity? I dare you. Go ahead.
INGENUITY.
Say that one more time.
Don't fuck with me. I'm a two-time spelling bee champion.
No, spell it again, please.
INGENUI. Wait.
He's a little drunk, guys. One more time. Ingenuity. Spell it.
TY. UITY.
He's a nerd. At the end of the day, he's a nerd because he's fucking right. I have a degree in creative writing, and I would not have been able to spell ingenuity for shit right now.
That's on 3 glasses of wine, ladies and gentlemen.
All this sexiness you see, he's just a nerd. It was so gross. Who doesn't take dick pics?
There's no ladies that listen to this podcast. These people tune in.
One day.
These people tune in for the geopolitical and philosophical breakdowns of the planetary action, and for black titties. That's
not mine.
Don't show your titties on the podcast.
I'm not good. I said not mine. I said not
She
mine.
wants to show her titties on the podcast, and that's
Disgusting.
bad.
Show me your dick first.
We're not sellouts, okay?
We're not selling this. What?
We're not gonna sell into those melons, all right?
Unless you're doing like a lot of money.
Unless we get a $200 super chat, and then we might show some titties.
$200 a minute super chat? Sure. I'll show you anything you want, bro. Well, hey, I'm gonna make my pasta. Unless you're talking about something interesting. No, you're all super awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm annoying and weird, so thank you.
Yeah, well, everybody kiss your sweet asses goodbye out there because
That's so negative. It's like, kiss your sweet ass, baby.
kiss your sweet asses goodbye because Ocasio-Cortez says the world is ending in 12 years.
Say, kiss your loved ones, kiss your babies, kiss your mom and your dad.
No. 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 No.
That's not at all.
Because, you know, is this an Ocasio-Cortez quote as well? She says existence of billionaires is immoral.
What?
It's evil to have $1 billion. God damn it. Immoral, our system allows billionaires to exist. What a moron
Wait,
cunt.
billionaires work to get there. I'm so. This is out of context. I can't even say anything about this. I know what she's even saying.
Guess what?
Listen, I don't want to be mad about
The
it.
internet, smartphones, brought to you by billionaires.
Billionaires and trillionaires. Say what? Android was invented by who? I don't know. Who was an Android invented by? Not her.
The internet, who she's using using the internet to get her message out.
Well, hey, I don't even know what she's
Using social media, the social media tech billionaires, who she has so many followers on social
Here's the thing,
media.
you can't get mad at crazies and you can't get mad at the ignorant. She's either one or both. So I try to live by. I can't get mad at people who are just.
Well, it's not about getting mad. It's just about proving her wrong.
Why are they proving me wrong? Crazy people are. Crazy.
Because so many people think that she's smart.
No,
So many people are like, "Oh my God, she's so amazing."
Then let them follow her into the storm that is bullshit that is her life.
Well, she has political power. That's the thing. We got to speak against the bullshit.
Again, guys, I don't even know who the fuck this bitch is. So
She's a congresswoman.
What?
Yes. Yes.
And those are her actual words.
She identifies as a democratic socialist.
No.
And she's essentially a communist. She wants a 70% tax rate.
What?
She wants to radically expand the government.
I'm so sorry. Do you guys know that thanks to this guy telling me in research that all the slave owners when slavery was happening were what? What were the next? What were all the slave owners? Were they Republicans?
Democrats.
All of them, like 100% of them.
And the KKK, brought to you by the Democratic Party. Then the Nazis, brought to you by the National Socialist Party. That's why Ocasio-Cortez calls herself a democratic socialist and not a national socialist.
So when you
Because if people Googled the phrase National Socialist, then the Nazi symbol comes up, and they have a hard time explaining it.
But also, where the Nazi symbol come from? That was actually a positive sign originally, just saying. But that's not how they.
Yeah, people hijack symbols for sure.
People
Yeah.
hijack symbols for real though. Like this, I'm pretty sure wasn't originally for black people. I think it was for something.
Like
else.
if people wear the "Make America Great Again" hat that represents the agenda of our elected president, they're considered racist or evil.
But here's the thing, Omarosa, one word, Donald Trump, Omarosa, where are you, bitch? Why are you not saying anything?
She came out and said she had tapes of Donald Trump saying the word nigger, and she never produced any tapes.
And here's the thing.
And she tried to smear him.
No one know who you were, Omarosa. Why aren't you?
She's only known because of The Apprentice.
And that's so sad. And the thing that business is green. All he sees is the color green. And I'm not saying that like he's right, wrong, neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying if you look at the facts, he's looking at green and he's a business person. Race doesn't matter. If you have the right business and you go work with me and you have the monies for it, guess what? I'm gonna work with you. I don't care what race you are.
What's up, Lil Mask? Welcome to the stream. Now that you've just joined the stream, I think we'll go on at least 10 more minutes.
I can go a few more pumps.
Like it if you like it. Share it out there. Let's. Oh, we got 4 viewers now.
If you want it, whatever.
Suck it if you want it. The Outrage TV. Suck it if you want it.
That's how I live my life, baby. Suck it if you want it.
Can you crack one of those windows over there? It's getting
Yes.
a little heated in here.
Yes, sir. Oh, the heater's still on, babe. That's why.
Oh shit! Turn that off. Yeah, welcome everybody to the stream. This is Outrage TV. We're here making fun of the political idiots,
I'm making pasta.
the communists, the socialists, the people who love big government. I'm an anarchist, an anarcho-capitalist, libertarian, and we're here drinking wine late night. And I'm here with my lovely roommate Heaven.
Hi.
And we're breaking down all of the political nonsense going on in the world.
Making pasta.
And she's making pasta over there. She's probably gonna burn it because
How do you burn pasta?
she could burn boiling water, ladies and gentlemen.
I could let that shit shit on fire. It needs some water. That's
Somehow the boiling water has caught on fire, and
we can't put it out, guys.
I'm not a fireman, so
He can barely kill a spider. The first time he was a spider in his apartment many years ago, I was in his apartment. And he's like, kill it. What? I was like, this is your apartment. What the fuck? Weak.
I don't want to kill my own kind. She calls me the spider
He
monkey.
is a spider monkey. This guy would legitimately elbow me in the face every single day I saw him. I mean, not intentionally, but for some reason, my face and his elbow wanted to kiss.
It's kind of like Chris Brown and Rihanna,
It's kind of like that, but what?
except not at all.
Like that was. I'm sorry, guys.
You know, I throw some bows.
But he does his.
Oh, that's a good point he makes. Am I allowed to call the fire department if I'm an anarchist? Now,
Good question. It's actually a good question.
it's a good question. Here's the deal. I'm more than happy to take advantage of government services because that's the world we live in. I would much rather it be a free market funded system and we had free market fire people. And we just paid the fire people directly, and we didn't have the government middleman in the middle. But in the same way that, you know, I'm more than willing to take advantage of, you know, any tax loopholes I can get across,
Open mouths
because
everywhere.
they're the mafia. They're stealing our money either way, so we don't really have a choice whether or not we contribute to the system. So any workaround you have, I support it, because, you know, we're living under this. If you get thrown in a cage where people are going to rape you if you don't pay your taxes.
Think about it this way.
So you don't have much of a choice. So you just got to find your workaround wherever you can find it.
When you're buying something you want, you'd rather buy it straight from the manufacturer than having the middleman, because that means more fees. That means it's going to heighten the cost. That's what the government is. They're the middleman that you don't want to fucking want. You want to go straight to the manufacturer. You don't want a middleman. Illuminati, government, vax, kill me. I don't care. Whatever. You know who you are. And the thing is that the worst part is that we've signed up to this before we were even like, well, the second we were conceived, bet they got.
Oh, you signed a social contract with the government there as an infant baby.
My
All right.
mama did. I was just here.
You signed your
But
soul
they never,
away from
they
the
never
government.
give you the option to opt out. They opt out. You can unsubscribe from things. You can leave any membership, but you can't leave the.
Can I get a receipt? No.
Can I leave the government? Hell no, bitch. You're fucking here, right? You're not going anywhere. You're my. It's like we're prostitutes. We prostitute our money for time. We prostitute our time for money, for the government.
Well, there's nothing wrong with contributing your time for money.
No, prostituting.
not
our
to the
time
government.
Not prostituting our time for money. We are all slavery didn't change. We are all still slaves. Instead of having the plantations, they just turned into companies, and the company owners and the government are the slave owners. Do any of you realize that slavery didn't go away? We are still slaves.
We're still at least half slaves. And we're slaves to the extent we're forced to pay taxes.
My thing is that we all need to learn, including myself, how money works. We work so hard for this shit.
It's all about whether it's voluntary or involuntary.
And that is so that there's this video by a Sadhguru that I listened about voluntarism being.
I'm on board with voluntarism.
And again, that's what he talks about. And guys.
That's why the government is immoral, because it's involuntary. They force you to contribute.
No, it's not just that they don't give you an option to opt out at any point.
Yeah.
No option can you opt out. They're like, you don't opt out, you gotta leave. Which makes sense, I guess. Mom's like, you don't want to follow my rules, get the fuck out. Same thing, I guess. I don't know, but I don't have to pay your. I should leave. Anyway.
Dr. Dennis Quaid, thank you for tuning into the podcast here. Dennis Quad, excuse me.
I was like, are you married?
Apparently he does squats.
Single.
Dr. Dennis Quad. He's got strong quads there.
I don't care.
He says, what happens if your neighbor's house burns down and they don't have fire insurance? Well, that's where community comes in.
That's your neighbor.
And if you have a strong relationship with your neighbor, then you would probably have an incentive to go over there and help them out. But that's what the government does, is it defragments a community. You don't depend on your neighbors anymore. You don't have real relationships in your neighborhood. Everybody's just like have the safety net of, the government's going to take care of any problem that happens.
They take away all the tits and they make you only have the one tit that you want the most. Instead of they make you marry them. They make you marry them before you even get to know them. And that's what actually is happening. You don't get a choice to like shop around, go get your dick wet. You have to be married to the government already. This sucks. You're like, but I mean, we haven't had sex
Yeah, there's
yet.
no option. There's no competition.
There's no college. There's no early 20s where you're doing stuff with people.
But that's like the bystander effect of like when nobody feels any responsibility for anything happening to anybody else. And it's like, oh, the government should be taking care of it. That's how like people in LA can just like see a homeless person laid across the sidewalk like they're
And
dead as
say
fuck
nothing. It's so
with their whole
sad.
ass out of their pants, and they're just like, well, somebody in the government's probably working to take care of this problem.
They're just like, oh,
And they don't feel any personal responsibility for it, and so that nothing gets done. That's what happens when you trust the government to like try to fix poverty or like, you know, try to like fix income inequality. It's like nothing ever gets done.
Because human kindness is not what's actually happening. In my opinion, we don't have actual human care and kindness. We have to be out for ourselves in order to help other people. Yes, in my opinion. In that case, we also, once we are at a place to help other people, we need to genuinely help other people. Not for our gain at all. That's called volunteerism, where we are willingly giving our services and time to that person without wanting anything or expecting anything back. We're too busy wanting, including myself, trust me, I'm working on myself, is I'm going to do this for you. And even if you don't know that it was me that did it, I'm doing it for you without wanting anything or expecting anything back at all. We don't do that. We're too busy like, how can I get, what do I get? And that's what we need to work on, is actually being genuinely community-based and giving a fuck about our neighbor, not because our neighbor is our neighbor, but because we can help them, we have the resources. That's the problem, guys, in my opinion. It's not about money, it's not about anything, it's about actual giving a fuck.
Yeah, and there's so many people that do give a fuck, and that's why people are willing to pay taxes. But
They don't know where their money's actually going.
yeah, there's no receipt. There's no like trust that you're going to like have your money go to anything that's actually efficient or effective. You like have, it's so disconnected because it's not voluntary and you're forced into the system. And so if people were like I mean, it happens automatically when you have a system without the government forcing people to do things. You see, you know, churches that have charities that contribute to the homeless, and people actually go down there and have soup kitchens. And well, I mean, that's why you can go into any hospital that is like sponsored by a church and get free service.
But how good is, it's not about free service, how good is that service? If they are using their money that's supposed to go into actual services to actually fund their cars and all the other things that's not for the actual services, I don't care if it's free, if it's shitty. I'd rather be dead than have false hope with something. Yes, it may be free, but have you ever done the research or followed up on the research that how good is that service? How many of those patients are better off with that service versus in the hospital? No. We don't talk about that. It's not about the free. It's not about the.
Well, the way you get quality service is you get the government out of the way, and you give people a profit incentive and you let competition work so that the lowest price and the best service will be the top of the heap.
It's not the lowest price. It's the most affordable. There's a difference between cheap and affordable. Cheap means it's not made well, it's not good. Affordable means you can afford it within your pocket, within your means, and it's also what you need. And those are two totally different things. It's not about how much money you have. It's about what you choose to do with it. How many people win the lottery and are broke within 2 years? Whether it's millions of dollars, they're broke. It's not about the amount of money. It's about what we choose to do with that shit. It's not about this. It doesn't matter. Our faces are not on those dollar bills in the first place. It's another president. So give that shit back to them. You can have it, but I'm going to make that shit work for me because there are laws in place that we don't even know about, that a lot of people don't know, I say choose not to know about, that will help us. If you're a business owner, I'm sorry, I can go on forever. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I'm not quite following your argument. You're saying that.
I'm just saying the main point is government or not is the government is evil because they're not community based. They're for themselves based. They're selfish. If they were more selfless as they were meant to be and to be the judge of something, if need be, not at all times, they have assumed the position of being there all the time. They're hovering. If a mom is overprotective and they're always over you, that's called abuse. Because they're not giving you the time to actually be. That's what the government has become. There's just the mom that's across town, across the country, that calls you when you call them when you need them. You can move in if you lost like your house or whatever. Yes, sometimes they're there for you when you need them. Not all the time, whether you need them or not. The government has taken over way too much control, has basically taken over all the land in our mind, just like how the colonists took over the land of the Indians.
Oh, how dare you!
Ha!
How dare
Facts.
you!
Facts. And things that we're so dumb. That thing is so good to us that we actually let that shit happen. We let the abuse happen. But my question is, how the fuck do we stop it? We're being abused and we don't even
We just
know
have to make the government smaller. We have to.
We can't make anything. How do we have to be strategic. We can't force our hand, obviously, because
Well, we have to not vote for leftist politicians who have communistic and socialistic ideologies.
we need to all agree
And
that
so then we can't let third world immigrants come in because they get on welfare and vote for the left.
Okay, it's not okay. I hear you on that part, and maybe you're right. But either way, it's how do we all agree on an actual commonality without a disaster happening? The only time we all come together without any issues with race and basic shit is when there's a disaster. Have you noticed that? But but we all revert back to the whole. It's all about me, just me, and fuck you. Like, and if it doesn't benefit me, no. That's how we operate. Automatically, that's not how this is supposed to be. That's why we're so broken.
Well, you can't expect people to be totally selfless because they have to make a
I
living.
didn't say totally. I said do you first and then give back. People just do them and they get so entrenched in themselves that they forget they're supposed to be giving back.
Yeah, and you see that when you have super rich people, they start charities and shit.
I hope that you never become that super rich person that does that because you are that person now.
No, I mean once you have enough
No. The amount of money
and you have influence, then you have an ability to give back.
You got it fucked up because people, when you have more money, all it does it just amplifies the issues you already have. It doesn't. When you become, let's see, with lottery, $1 billion, that doesn't make.
Yeah, if you don't have a good character, yeah.
That doesn't. No, if you don't have good habits, if you have bad spending habits, all you're gonna do is spend more money on bad things you're already doing. If you're a drug addict, you win $1 billion, you're gonna be dead before the $1 billion is over. First of all, because you don't have the discipline to do otherwise.
Yeah.
Just same thing with any.
Yeah, I hear you. And there are tons of good people in society. That's why people want to fund things like the welfare state, because we don't want people to starve in the street. That's why people want to support like socialized health care.
No.
Is because they don't want people to be turned away at a hospital. They want them to be helped. And so people would then be willing to, if they didn't have to pay taxes, they would be willing to put that money toward things that help other people.
If that was the case, then it would already be done. Because people are so used to making so many bad decisions.
No, because they're forced to pay taxes.
No, they're not forced. Here's the thing. People get money. Let's say you get paid this. It doesn't matter. People choose to do what they want to do. It doesn't matter how much money they have. They're just going to choose what they choose. They choose. The government's not the reason why people will choose what they choose. That's not 100%.
Well, I'm saying it's a chunk of their money that's getting taken away from them.
You cannot, but if you're a business owner and if you work the system and make it work for you, then you can work that shit. But people choose not to do that. So you can't say the government. There are plenty of loopholes in businesses, of being a business owner versus being an employee, which is where I'm looking to be is at business owner, where my money's working for me. I'm not working for my money. People choose to be stupid and not know how money fucking works. But there are loopholes in the system to help us. And we don't even know that shit because we choose not to.
But that's the best way to help poor people is to get the government out of the way.
They need to help themselves. Fuck that shit.
But listen to what I'm saying. When this will help them help themselves. Because if you get the government out of the way and it lowers the cost of everything in society and then lowers the barrier to entry. There's no minimum wage. You can work for whatever wage you agree upon with the employer. You can start working at like 14 and 15 and get into the workforce and get some experience.
You're 3 years old, bro. Trust. I've been there. Trust me.
You can like start making headway as an employee and working and seeing.
What if you don't want to be employee? Being employee is so basic.
Some people are lower IQ and they're employees.
No, not you don't be stupid to do that. 97% of people are employees. Only 3% of the world are actual. 3 to 7% are actual.
Right, and getting the government out of the way would open it up for small business.
Yes, that being said, there's nothing wrong with being an employee. But that being said, I'm not looking at that. You're still an employee mindset. I'm not. Therefore, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, some people are fundamentally they're not gonna be like big entrepreneurs.
Most people. Not some people. Most people.
Yeah, they're gonna be employees, and that's fine. You know, and it's fine. They can have happy lives doing that, you know, and that allows them to do that, and also allows them to have excess income to enjoy their lives
I think
if
what
they
you're
don't have to
saying-
pay
I think
taxes.
you're saying that the government doesn't allow them. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm understanding you correctly, I think what you're trying to what you are saying is that the government is so overbearing that it doesn't allow the community to even realize that they are a business owner instead of an employee. They just automatically how school set up, how college set up. You're meant to be constantly under the thumb of the government to pay them, take out loans. Then you have to pay us back. Student loans are the only loans you can.
Yeah, the government's like a wheelchair that you don't need, and you never realized you could walk.
Yes, it's exactly the same thing, and just like that's why student debts are the only debts that can never be absolved. Period. You just can't. Those will never can go away at any point in time that I'm aware of, unless I'm wrong. Any other kind of debt, credit card debt, all blah 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 that I'm aware of can be taken care of, not student debt. That's why they incentivize you going to school, go get an education, and they try and make you think you're guaranteed a career. Let's say you get a job right after. Even doctors don't make as much as the highest paid CEOs and billionaires in this country. And I think the majority of the top 10 billionaires in this country are not even from this country, because we squander, and I'm guilty of this too, squander what we have, and we're too busy complaining instead of focusing on what we can do right. We're too busy focusing on what everyone else is doing wrong. That's the kind of mindset I'm trying to get into.
Yeah, and you're forced to focus
You're
on.
not forced to do anything you don't want to do.
You're forced to focus on this shit that's
No,
happening
you are
because
strongly advised
because
to do
you're
that.
you're forced to fund it
No,
through
we're not.
taxation.
You're not forced to do shit, bro.
You're forced to pay taxes.
You're not forced to. That's why people go to jail. They're forced to. They would be in jail, would they? Ask Lauren Hill. Guess what? Ask what's that.
What do you mean?
They chose no. They are advised not to do that. They're not forced to. They're strongly advised, but there are consequences to do that because their social contract tells them they have to do that. I'm not saying the government's right. I'm saying that no, the word forced is incorrect. They're not.
You're definitely forced to pay taxes.
No, you are strongly advised not to. And they that they know the rules of the game. They can choose to leave the country and go play by different rules. They choose to stay here and
There's
then
no
not pay,
there's no country on earth that
not
doesn't.
pay taxes and then not pay taxes, but your ass is going to jail.
Yeah,
I get
that's
that.
force.
No, if you're an adult now and you know better, if this doesn't suit you, then fucking leave or do something.
There's
about
no
it.
country on earth that doesn't take taxes.
Go somewhere else that is not so strict. Nick, it doesn't.
There's no other
then
planet
why are
on
you
earth.
complaining? How are you gonna fix it? Instead of complaining, how are you gonna fix it? Tell me how you're going to fix it, and then we can talk.
You got to make the government
All
smaller.
you're going to do, what is your actual business plan, and how are you going to execute this? All you're saying is
Cut
up to
taxes
there.
and cut spending.
You have no execution plan, as in you have no team to do this. All you're saying is bullshit.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying the government is
All
immoral.
you're doing is talking about it. You're not doing anything about it, and that's what. Okay. No.
First has to come the realization that the government is immoral, and then we can decide what to do after
But
that.
now you have to be respectful enough for people to.
Because you have to get past all of the propaganda that people are programmed with in public school, that we have to pay our taxes, and that, you know, whatever the government decides, you know, we just have to put up with it.
I just think that we have more power than we're realizing, and we're too busy fighting against each other over basic shit, including race, to actually come together and fix the problem. That's the issue. Is that we're too busy talking about basic shit that is race, which is a distraction from the actual issues, that we're not able to actually come together and congregate to understand, wait a minute, this isn't about race, this is what's actually happening, and take attention to that. We are all distracted.
Bring your pastas over here and talk on camera.
We're all just, I know, it makes my face to hear me. This is a lot of pasta. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy, but in my opinion, I see this very clearly. In my opinion, I don't think we're all been distracted. We're too busy.
So Dirtweed says, what up, Sadiq Ahmed? Dirtweed says monopolization by one individual will be the outcome of no government, which I disagree with wholeheartedly, because the only way a monopoly gets formed is through interaction with the government. If you have a company that has no access to lobbyists or buying off politicians, then the only way they can form a monopoly is by literally providing the best service that anyone can possibly provide. And that's why in the absence of a government, in order to be successful as a company, you have to literally provide the best service or best product at the best price.
No,
And if you're not doing
what
that,
we have to be doing is always be in the best. I'm sorry, continue. I'm so sorry. We're not doing that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, and Dennis Quad says, like when the government had to break up Standard Oil. See, Standard Oil established a monopoly because they made contracts with the government. See, people get that
It
confused, like the chicken before the egg. You don't get a monopoly unless you have a government, because there's always going to be competition that comes in and tries to undercut you. There's always going to be new innovation that comes up underneath you and undercuts your competition, and you're really drowning out my arguments with your scraping of the pan here.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
He says you're wrong, but that's not an argument. So the only way you cut out your competition is through the government, by passing regulations and things that people have to comply with in order to compete with you. Otherwise, you're going to have newer, energetic, younger companies that come up and provide better service for a better price, or they provide an alternative competition to the big monopolist system. And then it's the natural creative destruction of the free market that happens. But the government prevents that, because the big companies recognize their major power is working with the government in order to get lobbyists and cut out their competition by passing regulations that the other companies have to comply with in order to compete. So if you don't have those measures in place where a big monopolistic government can dictate what companies have to do to get licensing, if you don't have that, then you just have no barrier to entry, and new competition can come into the fold and outcompete the big corporations.
And you're forced to also communicate with your fellow man instead of having the middleman, which is the government. Also, it's like saying telephone, where you say one thing, the government filters out whatever they want, and then they say to the next person that you're trying to communicate with. That's what's happening. Without the government being not the government so involved, there's less miscommunication between the two forces that are trying to interact, because the government wants a piece of the pie no matter what. Everything we do, the government's going to hear about it, they're going to know about it, and we're going to pay them for it. Regardless if we want to or not, we're going to pay them. And that's what's happening. No matter what you do, how many kids you have, where you work, and where you sleep, the government's going to get a piece of that. And we are not understanding that no matter what the fuck you do, the government's going to get a piece of that ass no matter what. So you could try to run, you could try to leave. Whatever you get, you're fucking paying. We're a prostitute, the government, and we are okay with that. And that's a problem. Because I work my ass off. My ass is
It's evil.
It's not evil.
It's
sick.
evil.
For me, it's sick because it's no more about the human kindness, the human interaction. But if there's less government, that means we are forced to go like, okay, bro, here's the thing. My business is this, your business is this. How we work together, or we fight this out like fair, and we figure it out instead of having no like, well, this is the rules that we created, and you kind of agreed to, not really, but you were born into, but fuck it, like, rules, I made it, whatever, do it. And because we're so lazy, and so, fuck it, it's good enough, let's just fuck it, let's do it.
Use the good olive oil. What are you doing?
We're talking, and that's, I love you.
That's terrible oil.
I'm using it, it's already on all my pasta. Oh my gosh.
She's using the dollar store olive oil. Try to say that 10 times fast. Dollar store olive oil.
Here's the thing, we are prostituting our time with the government, and we're not realizing what we're getting taken out. And all we're doing is fighting for money, guys. Money is not the issue.
I just don't know if they can hear you very well over there.
I
But
don't care.
you're making good points over there.
It doesn't matter. They're not really listening to me. They're looking at you. It doesn't matter.
Let's read some comments.
There's no humor for it.
Sadiq Ahmed says white woman participation in politics is very low.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. They seem to vote for the welfare state, and
who cares? It's not about race. You guys keep basing into this basic ass shit. It's not about race. Like y'all just keep forgetting it's about actual heart, bro. It's not about we're all pink on the inside. Thank you, Pink, for saying that. We're all
Hillary Clinton participated in politics.
Politics is literally a public popularity contest. Vote for me because of this. And they don't follow through. It's the same shit as high school, except bigger, and we keep falling for this shit.
Except they steal your money.
It's worse. You're right, it's worse. Because at least I get a yearbook at the end of it, or a class remaining 5. Or a prom dress that I'll never be able to fit into again, even though I look better on a prom dress now than I did then. Haha. But anyway,
What's up, Alex Utopia? He says he hears you all right.
Oh, thank you. See, I'm loud. I'm glad.
Dirtweed says if it's not about race, why does she keep bringing it up?
Because you guys keep talking about it.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Okay? Like,
I'm just kidding.
Listen, Dirtweed, your name is Dirtweed. Sit down. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, I meant
Let's see.
Why is this not pink? This isn't pink.
Dennis Quad says, like when Edison stopped AC Electric, had
Why-
nothing to do with the government.
Question, so sorry. Why does this say pink salt? This is not pink.
I mean, that was in a government system,
This
dude. I mean, Edison was working with the government in order to persecute Tesla. As far as I mean, there's no free market examples you can give because we've never lived in a true free market.
Because being free is not free.
Because you can't be free because you got to be under the government
Why
thumb.
don't we talk about the positive parts about having government? And there must be some. There can be no. There has to be positives, but there's negatives. So but
There's no positives to stealing money.
You need to have podcasts where it's just about the positive things of government. You have to because you have to show both parts, or else you're being just.
There are no positives of government. Because nothing positive comes from stealing people's money. You always achieve the opposite of the intended result.
How are you supposed to charge your vape if you don't come in?
Huh?
I didn't go to bed soon.
I did too. But we're getting ready to solve all the problems of the world.
I'm not. I'm black.
She's black.
You breathe like you're ugly.
Oh no. She's about to stick pasta noodles in her own mouth.
What?
Some guy said, "Can you stick pasta noodles in her mouth?"
Why I talk too much? I'm sorry. I don't care.
What's in the pasta? Olive oil and Parmesan cheese.
There's no. Oh, where's Parmesan? Good job. Thank you.
You forgot Parmesan?
I'm black. Leave me alone.
You can't blame her. She's black. Just talk to the liberals. The liberals know that black people don't know what they're doing. And so the government has to help them because they're just lost without the government. If the government wasn't in existence, black people would just forget to put Parmesan cheese on their pasta.
You just bought this.
What the fuck? I put it on all my vegetables and my pasta. That's what it's there for, to eat.
Or to cover the taste of my shopping.
Makes broccoli taste so much better. Put Parmesan cheese and garlic salt on that
Or just
motherfucker.
butter. I love broccoli butter.
Butter as well.
Look it, it's so much food and I'm so tiny. Well, y'all don't know how small I am, but I'm.
What do we do for a living? I drive for Postmates, and she works at Dare.
What? Nope. Nope. You can't say who I work for, bro. I work for a nonprofit.
On that white trash pasta. No, that's authentic Italian. That's how they do it. That's alle aioli. Alle aioli. When you get to just, that olive oil and the Parmesan cheese and the garlic salt, baby.
That's not what?
That's what that's the style of pasta.
This nerd alert over here knows about food and shit.
Is because I work at a five-star Italian restaurant.
God, you're so gay. I'm sorry. I mean, you're so happy.
She's not my wife. She's my roommate.
No. Never.
Never do that again on camera. No, Alfredo is for that's the white trash move right there. You get the Alfredo sauce because it's almost like ranch to white trash people. If they could put ranch on their pasta, they probably would. Put some ranch on it.
Okay, Burger King's zesty sauce is delicious though.
Fuck Burger King.
What?
I'll take McDonald's every day, all day.
Dirty. I love you, Burger King.
I love how cheap Burger King's chicken nuggets are.
Yeah, so what do you say? Fuck Burger King? Fuck yourself, asshole. Okay, what the fuck?
So unnecessarily rude.
As you said, fuck Burger King, and then you just said that you love their nuggets. What the?
I have
two-faced bitch.
I have a hatred toward Burger King because I lived in a residence hall in college where we had a Burger King on the lobby floor, and you could literally smell it every time you got out of the elevator, and it was fucking disgusting. And so I fucking hate Burger King.
Do you eat everything you hate?
Dirtweed says, and all my Italian friends call what you eat is very mongy cake. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I've worked at a 5-star Italian restaurant, buddy. I know some good pasta. You put the olive oil on there. You get the extra virgin olive oil. Spritz it on there. Parmesan cheese and some garlic. And that's how you do it, baby. That's how you do it. And then you finish it off with a little espresso.
So what kind of wine, though? He knows how to pair wines and shit, too.
Oh, you got to have the, a nice Barolo.
He's such
A nice Barolo.
This is so unattractive.
A red wine.
This is so gross.
You got to have at least a $100 bottle
Ew,
of
I hate
Barolo.
this conversation. See, I don't cook.
You got to have a nice tan.
I don't cook well.
You got to smooth your hair back.
Ew, you don't do any of those things.
And
Ew,
you work- and you work-
Fabio doesn't even do that anymore. He's probably just chilling on the beach.
You work for the mafia.
And you're ugly and you have a small dick.
You shave your own garlic. Like Vito Corleone.
But, I mean, grilled garlic with the, so good. Wait, no. Oh, can you get my glass is so far away. I should talk about that. I forgot. Okay.
Dirtweed said he's gotten laid in a Burger King parking lot. That's what Burger King is good for.
No, it says the guy who eats there. You're a hypocrite.
Debauchery.
No, I mean, I've had sex outside of church before. I'm not proud of it, whatever.
Alex Utopia says, I'm all for small government and low taxes, but you still need it to provide a legal system, secure the peace and your borders, and and that shit costs money, and of course they need to steal it from
But not as much money as it. No.
Well, here's the deal. So everybody wants to support a national defense. Everybody wants to have some form of policing. And so that public's demand is going to necessitate a supply, whether you have a government or not. So what you do instead is you take the money you would have spent on taxes and you hand it to the military themselves, and you hand it to the police themselves, and you let the marketplace of the public dictate the agenda of those institutions. And you open it up to competition, and then you'll have competing forces of military and competing forces of police that are competing to provide the best service. And so then you wouldn't have this big narcissistic military industrial complex that, irregardless of the public demand, decides to go over and try and create democracy in the Middle East and kill 1 million Iraqis and fucking destroy countries and bankrupt our nation and go $20 trillion in debt.
And then expect us to pay them back anyway.
If there was any connection to the public demand that, taxes seem to imply, those things wouldn't be happening. But that's the only evidence you need to see that there's a major disconnect between the desires of the public and the actions of the government. So anytime you let an agency steal your money, you're not going to get what you desire from that agency. You're not going to get good service if you let the mugger take your money. The mugger is not going to serve you in any way that helps you.
Unless the mugger provides you the house and home and is very sweet, eats your pussy, just saying, then you're great. Then yes, then let that mugger keep it up. But if the mugger is literally biting you on the vagina and you're not down with that, and you don't assess the situation and change it, then you can't. How are you gonna be mad when you let this shit happen? though? We need to assess the situation and change it.
Don't let the mugger bite your vagina.
Don't bite my clit. I'll kill you. I will fucking kill you. I will kill you. What if you got
stuck up on the street and that was their only request, that they wanted to bite your vagina?
Is that all they want? I'd be like, okay. I'd be like,
keep your money. I just want to bite the vagine.
If I'm broke anyway, then I'll fight them still. But I mean, if that's all they really want, then that's a good question. Damn. I mean, it depends on the person. Is he cute?
He's super cute.
Oh, then, I mean...
He's a super cute mugger.
He's just biting me one time? I mean, I can get over it. I've had worse happen to me. I'm good. That's literally it. You're not going to rape me? I'm... Okay.
Isn't that a little bit of rape?
If I agree to it, it's not rape.
Oh, yeah. If he asks...
If we have a sit-down conversation, we discuss this, and I say yes, then it's no longer rape.
If he asks politely...
It's called prostitution.
It's a little nibble,
It's the one time, then sure, bet. And if you want to pay me for that, that's called prostitution. I'm down for that. Maybe. I'm not saying always.
But the government doesn't take a little nibble. They take a big,
They rip off your clit and then call you a man.
Aggressive bite there. Alex Utopia with his big thoughtful comments here, says,
I love this big thoughtful comment.
but
Thank you.
but with yes, thank you. But with free market competing police and military forces, your nation will fracture into little tribes, all with their own legal system, and war will ensue in short order, in my opinion. See, that's an argument from consequentialism, which I understand, but you don't necessarily know how the free market is going to handle these complex problems. And it's you have hundreds of millions of people interacting in economic decisions, and I think a grand ethic will emerge from that, like kind of like eBay, like you don't have the government needing to regulate eBay to make it work effectively.
I don't give a fuck.
What you have is people buying and selling freely with virtually no oversight, very little oversight. And what you have is a rating system where people rate sellers and rate buyers. So if somebody rips somebody off or fucks somebody over, well, they get a low rating and they get a bad reputation in the community, and they get known as a scumbag.
What if the seller pays the buyer to say otherwise?
What incentive would to give them a good review?
Yeah, they give them money.
So you buy a vacuum cleaner on eBay.
It sucks. Get it sucks.
You like, I don't know what it is. They ship it to you and then you pay them, but it's like a fraudulent check, and they don't get their money.
No.
But then somehow you work out a deal where like they still leave you a
saying.
good review.
No, let's say that you sell jewelry online, and that jewelry says it's amazing. You get that jewelry, it fucking is like plastic. But the
Can I have a bite of that?
Yeah, but the seller is not very good. At least in your standards. You don't have cheese, you ate it all. And let's say that the jewelry sucks, but the buyer messages you as you get the package, says, "I need you. I will wire you $100,000 if for every good review that you write in 1 month, just say it's great. If you tell your friends to do the same thing, I'll give them $10,000. But don't tell them I give you $100,000.
Why would he spend all that money when he could just give you a good product?
Because he knows it's just a few of those people. Because he puts a cap on the amount of people he can pay off, and because they say it, oh my god, it's so great, and they see those reviews on the very top, and those same people keep doing it over and over again. You just build a system to where those people that you're paying off are the ones that are working for you to keep paying. You pay them a little amount, and all the people, all the billions.
That's so complex.
That's how business works, bro. It's not easy.
He could just provide a good service and get a good review
for
way less money.
But a lot of people don't do that. Hence the government. What the fuck are you talking about?
For way less money and way less complications, he could just provide a good service.
How is it you to avoid any corruption from happening?
Corruption's going to happen, but you just have to identify it when it happens.
But who's the identifier? We need someone to be
the public.
All the public? You trust everyone in the public to be forthright and
you don't trust everybody, but you see an aggregate of reviews. Like it's on Yelp. If there's one out of 5 review and there's like 105 out of 5 reviews.
It doesn't matter about the class and the who and the what and the where. All it amounts is being honest and being a good person. And all of us, for some reason, are not choosing or cannot come to a clear conclusion what good person means. And if we all agree, let's say there is an objective view of what is good, we're all too busy sectioning off. I'm this, I'm that, I'm black and I'm white, I'm Democrat, Republic, I'm bi, I'm gay. No, I'm a human. And I don't want to see my fellow human hurting. And in order to do that, I should not have to pay X amount of dollars to make sure they're not hurting. And if I do pay that money, and if I don't see that shit being helped, and I see them still on the street, I'm not going to pay you anymore because obviously you're not doing your job. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to pay you to pay for wars that I didn't even start. Bitch, that's not my problem. You pay for that shit yourself.
You pay extra, on your lip.
Thank you. You pay extra taxes because you fucking want that shit. I didn't start this war. I don't want that fucking oil. What the fuck? Bitch, you got me fucking. How the hell?
You still got cheese on your lip.
Anyway, but still, how are you gonna come to me and tell me to pay your bills when I didn't make those bills? That's what they're asking us to do because they're then promising that they're gonna make sure that we have electricity for the whole year, and then I'm blacked out by January 31st. I paid you for the whole year already. That's what's happening, is that they're promising us stuff that's not following through. We see that, and we're not stopping, and we're not like, hold on. You said we're going to do this, you didn't. Fuck that, no.
Yeah, and if that happens at McDonald's, you pay for 2 sausage egg McMuffins, and they only give you 1. You're like, it says on my receipt I have 2, and they're like, fuck you. And then you post it on social media and people are like, what the fuck? And then
We let it go, but we let it go with the government. Then my question is, how do we...
But they take your money by force.
My question is, why...
So it doesn't matter.
No, we as numerically have more of us than them. Then why aren't we doing anything? We're supposed to...
Because people are propagandized. They grow up in public school and they don't see the government as evil as what it really is. They don't see the difference between...
How do we fix it? How do we fix it? That's all my only question. I don't know how to fix it. How do we fix it?
Mock the government until they look so stupid that people recognize that how stupid they really are. And how stupid the system is that we're pledging allegiance to.
You don't quack like the stupid to make the point of what stupid is like. You do the opposite of the stupid. They don't even acknowledge the stupid, then they go away. You don't bring more light to them by talking about them. You ignore them and then show them the right way and then keep it kicking. And have enough people see that what you're doing is progressing more than acting like the stupid and just perpetuating the stupidity. That doesn't make sense. Like stupidity times stupidity equals more stupidity, but stupidity minus times zero stupidity equals zero. You eradicate the disease by getting rid of it and ignoring it.
Well, you first have to diagnose the disease, and you have to point out the evil.
A lot of us diagnose the government. It's not good. Then why aren't we?
Because it's not just that it's not good, and we need a new politician. It's that the whole system is fundamentally evil, and that's what people don't really fully understand.
It's counterproductive. It's not following through what it says to do. Not just evil. It's not doing what it says it's going to do. It's not trustworthy.
Right, but it's not. It's not trustworthy because it's evil.
Nick, evil is not the. No, what makes it evil is that it's not trustworthy. It's not the opposite. You're saying the opposite. It's not evil because it's untrustworthy. It's untrustworthy.
Well, institutions that steal your money are never going to be trustworthy.
No, you're saying that it's untrustworthy.
You don't trust the mugger.
No. It's not evil. Does not equal untrustworthy. Untrustworthiness is a factor of being evil. You
don't trust the mugger, is what I'm saying. You automatically know. You automatically know he's untrustworthy because he's a mugger.
But here's to tell you he's a mugger. If you see that,
so people don't see the government as a mugger.
No, they do. Obviously, they do see obviously, there's more. You're not the only person that sees this. But why? What?
Right, but the mass population needs to realize this.
So she's talking shit about it. Guess what? Arguing is just making it worse.
We got to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. We keep it under 2 hours. Mm-hmm. It's been spectacular and fun, and we enjoy the back and forth. We enjoy all the comments. We enjoy all the likes and shares and subscriptions out there, and love all the contributions. And we have fun hanging out with y'all.
And please note that none of what we say, at least what I say, is negative or really meant to hurt anyone at all.
Everything I say is negative, and we're all going to die in 12 years because of climate change.
He's friends with me. He can't friends with me. He's actually dumb. But no, I love you all, and thank you for having me on his show. It's not.
That's what we're trying to create here is real community, not this fake, enforced fucking government horseshit. So
if you get offended, I'm sorry, but we'll get over it.
Yeah, after 2 hours, the audio converter I use to make it into an MP3 to put it on the podcast apps doesn't work anymore, so I'm trying to keep it under 2 hours. But
one day it'll go on forever because we'll have enough money.
Someday I'll figure out where I'll change it into an MP3 and we can go as long as we want. But
all right.
We're also getting pretty tired here and pretty buzzed. So all hail heaven. Don't forget about the federal outrage chancellor Nick Jordan. I'm the supreme ruler around here, and I will not tolerate anyone usurping me. No.
Well, I'm just a joker, so I'm so sorry. I'm just here to entertain you.
Oh, it just crossed 2 a.m. here in LA.
Good night.
So yeah, we love you, beautiful people, and I'm probably gonna keep doing these late night live streams because I gotta make money during the day. I gotta get out there and deliver packages and shit. So
you delivers dick.
We love all you beautiful people out there. Keep rocking it out in the free world. Keep pointing out the evil in society. And thanks, Alex.